Hey guys, and thanks for joining me on this edition of How I Use SERPWoo Daily. Today I want to go over keyword research. Now, as we all know, keyword research is very important. It's pretty much a core foundational skill set at the basis of search engine optimization and pay-per-click advertising. Going after keywords, whether they're broad or they're long tail, whether they're highly competitive or whether they're really cheap clicks. Getting your mind wrapped around keyword research and being able to find keywords that either your competitors have or don't have is what's going to help give you leverage. So I want to go over how I do keyword research within SERPWoo and then outside of SERPWoo. And I kind of want to tell you why SERPWoo's keyword finder is radically different from everybody else's. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I've got my project and my keyword pulled up. They're both exercise science degree. And I like using these higher education keywords because, one, they're super competitive, both in SEO and for pay-per-click. But because I also know this space extremely well myself personally, I know that there's certain keywords that other keyword tools did not give me when I was doing keyword research years ago and even up till today, just depending on the tool. So when I built SERPWoo, I had in mind that I wanted this keyword finder that really worked with the way that I thought and the way that advanced SEO and pay-per-click marketing should be as far as finding additional keywords based off a root keyword like exercise science degree. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how we do this here. I'm going to go to Keyword Finder. And it's always pre-populated with best keyword tool. That's just to give somebody an example of what the data is going to look like. But I'm going to go ahead and put in a keyword here. I'm going to reuse what I've already put in. We'll do exercise science degree. Now, if I wanted to, I could change the country, but I'm working with the United States, so I'm working with google.com, so we'll keep that there. And we're going to go ahead and find keywords based on this. So as you see, it's extremely quick. Based off exercise science degree, we're going to be able to do a couple things. One thing that we're going to do really quickly with exercise science degree is, for one, we're going to go out into the SERP and pull the top 10 results. As you see here, we've got collegeboardstudy.com, we've got exercisescienceguide.com. So we're pulling up the top 10 for this keyword, as well as giving you the additional keywords that you might be able to get at other tools like the Google Keyword Finder and other third-party tools who are going to give you alternatives to that keyword. But the important thing is you're going to be able to look at who ranks for these keywords too, based off that top 10, so based off that legend. So if we look here, we've got about exercise science, and you've got these dots here. Well, these dots are color-coded to the legend above. This is how many people are actually ranking for this keyword about exercise science. So let's go real quickly back up here. We've got kind of a maroon, a light green, a red, a blue, a purple. You can easily find that up here. So one of those is definitely going to be csp.edu, which is Concordia St. Paul. Definitely there's going to be mercy.edu and College Board, because I'm just remembering these colors. But if I wanted to reduce the amount of sources, I could with our sliders. I could even change the monthly traffic volume as far as, if I wanted only high volume keywords, even the pay-per-click competition and the cost per click estimation in US dollars if I wanted to do that. Now, while you're working in SERPWoo, you've got the choice that if you find keywords that you like and that you want, you don't have to go back into other areas of SERPWoo to add that keyword in. You can do it straight from Keyword Finder. You can even add it to projects. You can do to a list. You can do these individually. You can filter these out. Say, like, if you did not want keywords that had the word year in it, like how we've got the first keyword here that says 1 year degree careers, we could just filter out year if we wanted to. And now everything with year is filtered out. As you can see here, here's the keyword that we were looking at earlier about exercise science. Here's the legend again, as far as, if you wanted to look up here. We can unclick some of these as well. Like, we'll just take out these 3 right here, collegeboard.org, ericcressy.com. I probably said that wrong, and mercy.edu. So we took those out and the list changed. One thing about the list that this brings back is we're going to also, now this is what other keywords did not do. They didn't do it until SERPWoo did it. They copied and stole from us. We were the originators of this idea. Our keyword finder, we not only brought in all of the keywords and their alternatives and derivatives like everybody else did, but we also looked at the SERP, like how I showed you with our top 10 here that included csp.edu and exercisescienceguide.com and study.com. We would pull those in, show you the legend of who's ranking for it. That's something that we invented. And then 2, the second thing that we did was we went to the top 3 websites, which in this case is going to be collegeboard.org, study.com, and exercise-science-guide.com. And we pull what other keywords they rank for. Now, for something like College Board or Study.com, that might bring in a few other relevant keywords into this list, but what it's also going to do is it's going to pull in keywords that no other keyword tool ever did until SERPWoo did it. And that was keywords that are highly relevant to exercise science degree, like kinesiology. Kinesiology is highly relevant. No other keyword would pull this in. And for somebody like me who was working in the higher education space, it was very important that I knew personally kinesiology was connected to exercise science, but no keyword tool would give me that. So that's where I kind of hunted down, how can I build a tool that can pull in words like kinesiology that are related to exercise science so that I can use those keywords, maybe like in an LSI fashion, to put that on my website in my text, to rank for that, to bid on that within pay-per-click. And I went and invented that concept for SERPWoo and provided it to users just like you. No other keyword tool would do this. This is why I built it. And now, today, if you were to type in exercise science degree into keyword tools, other third parties, and even the Google keyword tool today, you're more than likely going to get kinesiology back because everybody has finally caught up with the technology that we invented here at SERPWoo and brought out first. So this is, very important. As a matter of fact, the very first keyword that we're looking at here in our list is a degree in kinesiology. You would have never have found that, years ago. So this is something that, we continuously work on. We continuously try to improve, whether it's the speed, whether it's the results. But we were the first keyword tool to bring this out, and we're always trying to stay 20 steps ahead of everybody else. So this is the first part of how I do keyword research. I'm going to go in, I'm going to look at who's my competitors for this keyword. I'm going to move the sliders around, maybe take out something like the word year, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to try to find out what is everybody else ranking for, like with this legend. So to me personally, knowing that the maroon color is mercy.edu or the dark red is liberty.edu, that's not really important to me specifically to know what each dot is. That's how I do keyword research. But what is important, something that I like to look at, is how many people, or as you could look on this legend, how many dots rank for that keyword. That's going to give me an indication of not only how competitive it is, but also how common it is as well. So the word a degree in kinesiology isn't, it doesn't look like it's that competitive. There's one dot there, it's dark blue, that looks like that's the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill .edu. They're using that keyword. And when I look at volume and I look at competition, it's a 63 out of a 100. And I look at the cost per click, it doesn't really look like potentially somebody's bidding on that exact keyword or that exact phrase, or at least they weren't when we pulled this data. So I'm going to keep in mind the word kinesiology. Now, I already knew that personally, but somebody like you, if you're doing this for a client, you might not know those highly relevant keywords. Or if you're entering into a new vertical, you might not know those keywords. But I'm going to write that down and look at it. And as I scroll down, if I'm doing this for a college or for a university, and I know for a fact that they're wanting me to help them to get students into their programs, I'm going to notice keywords like this one: accredited exercise physiologist jobs. And I'm going to go in and say, you know what, jobs is going to be a negative keyword. I need to make sure that if I'm doing pay-per-click, that I can actually make a negative keyword list. And one of those negatives is going to be the word jobs. And I need to make sure too that if this is SEO, that maybe the page that people are landing on, potentially that there's not a word on there that says jobs or careers. Like maybe it's in the header or it's in the footer. Maybe removing that, because if somebody were to type in accredited exercise physiologist jobs, I don't want my page coming up in pay-per-click or SEO, because when the person clicks on that and they land on my page is all going to be about an adult student that wants to get a physiologist degree online. It's not people that are looking for a job or career page that I want to be promoting. So I'm going to keep that definitely in the back of my mind as I go through here and figure out. But I can sort these by volume. I can sort it by competition. And I'm going to take this list and I'm going to put it into a new project into SERPWoo, or I'm going to actually just add the individual keywords potentially into my project that's already named exercise science degree. And I'm going to be able to track those keywords better. And now I go from tracking a SERP to actually potentially tracking an entire niche. So if my niche is exercise science degrees, whether that's bachelor's, whether that's master's, whether that's a kinesiology degree, anything that has to do with that, now I can monitor this entire niche for myself. And that gives me a more clearer picture of all of these related keywords together than just one keyword right now, like exercise science degree. So I want to show you something here real quickly. I kind of changed the screen up so this would be a little bit more presentable. But when you go to a keyword, like our first keyword here, exercise science, and you see a little red-orange folder, that actually means you've already selected that keyword and put it into a project. If you hover over the folder icon, you'll actually see in the status bar of your browser the project that it goes to, but you can click on it and it will take you straight to that project. So, and looking at my screen, I've already got exercise science and exercise science degree in a project. So when you're going through keyword research and you're looking at these keywords, you can get thousands of keywords from our keyword finder tool. You're going to know automatically what keywords you're already tracking and what's already in a project, so you're not duplicating things. And if you want to, you can go into that project and look at it. But this is just a real quick tip before we jump to the next step, which is keyword research outside of SERPWoo and how I do it personally. But if you do see this folder icon, just know that that is for indicating and letting you know that that keyword is already in a project for you. So the way that I do keyword research outside of SERPWoo is there's one tool that I like to use, and that is SpyFu. Now, SpyFu is a great tool. You know, I'm not ashamed to say that I use other products because SERPWoo isn't built to replace competing tools like Majestics or Ahrefs, Moz, or even SpyFu. No, we're actually built to complement those tools, to actually add to your arsenal, because every tool does something great. And SERPWoo definitely is a great tool. You know, I know I'm being biased, but it's a great tool to use for SEO purposes. SpyFu does do things in a organic fashion, but they also have a very excellent use when it comes to looking at keywords that competitors are bidding on in pay-per-click. And that's kind of the second part of this. I use SERPWoo to get the organic information for keywords. Now I want to see what the pay-per-click guys are doing, because the pay-per-click guys are using money. They're not going to stick with keywords for a long term that aren't profitable for them. And sometimes they have some ideas or keywords that you're just not going to pick up organically, that you're going to pick up from people who are buying clicks and have that data, and they're continuing to spend on it. And SpyFu, I love to use their pay-per-click research when I'm looking up keywords. And essentially, I don't just put in a keyword like exercise science degree, like I did with SERPWoo. I'm actually looking at competitors. And the way that I do that is if I go to Google, I've already typed in exercise science degree here, and I'm just basically looking at these ads. That's all I'm doing, is I'm looking at the top ads, and I'm looking at any ads that might be at the bottom, and I'm looking to see what those domains and URLs are. Pronto.com, About.com, and Smarter.com. I know that's going to be generic aggregators, so I'm not going to really look at those. You know, those are the ads here at the bottom. But at the top, I'm looking at, real colleges like Logan.edu or apus.edu. Now, I'm actually looking at page 2. Page 1 is very similar. There's not any reason why I showed you page 2 first. It just happened to be what I was on. But even if we go over to page 1, it's the exact same 2 competitors at the top. Let's look to see if anybody's changed at the bottom here. atsu.edu. So we'll keep this one in mind. I like this here. So if I'll go back to SpyFu, I'm going to look at pay-per-click research, and you're going to have to do it by the domain. So obviously these colleges and universities, or even one of your competitors, they're going to bid on a lot more than just one particular niche. I'm looking at exercise science degree, but when we put in Logan.edu, we're going to get chiropractic schools, how to become a nutritionist, masters in nutrition online. But I'm going to go through here and look for my particular keywords. So, not too far down, we've got degree in exercise science, online exercise science master's degree. We've got sports science degree, which is, highly relevant. We've got master's exercise science, online masters in nutrition, masters in exercise science online. So what I would do here with SpyFu is I would actually download all of these keywords, and I would go through them and kind of sort by, which ones are relevant to whatever keyword I'm working with. Since I'm working with exercise science degree, I'm probably not going to be, very detailed with these nutritionist keywords. I'm definitely not going to be using chiropractic schools. Now, there is some overlap somewhat with exercise science and nutrition, and there is some overlap with exercise science and chiropractic, but you're going to have to just use your judgment and know your client, or at least know the site that you're building, to know if those keywords are something that you're going to go after. For the clients that I deal with, they're not interested in chiropractic, and they're not interested in bidding on nutrition. They want to stay heavily focused on that exercise science, somewhat sports science, and also kinesiology. So I'm going to go through, get a dump of these keywords from Logan.edu, and kind of go through and get all the exercise science related keywords, even if it's a master's, even if it's a bachelor's, even if it's even just a certificate, just to get the terms. And I'm going to do the same thing possibly with kinesiology as well. Logan's not going to be the only school I look at. I'm literally going to look at all of the universities that I can find that pop up when I do this research. So now we're going to look at ATSU. And we've got a lot of exercise science, health science. And this is kind of where, if you are working with a client or you are building a site, and even though you're going after a specific keyword like exercise science, there might be the possibility that you start saying, you know what, maybe I do need to look at health science. Maybe I do need to look at nutritionist type keywords because there is some overlap there. But again, I would do the same thing here. I go to ATSU, I'd make a dump of these keywords, I'd go through them and collect all the ones that are relevant for me, and I'm going to actually look at, what ATSU is bidding on, Logan.edu is bidding on, and a lot of these other colleges and universities that are showing up for pay-per-click. So once I've gotten all these keywords from SpyFu, and from SERPWoo, and I've done the research on all of my pay-per-click competitors, I'm going to essentially just dump all of these keywords into a text file. I'm going to dedupe, which means getting rid of the duplicates, and I'm going to clean these up, and I'm going to make sure by hand that each of these keywords are something that are highly relevant to what I'm looking for in case there's any outliers there, especially from the research from SpyFu, which will bring in other keywords for that domain, not just for that URL. And once I dedupe and I have my text file, I'm going to take all of those keywords. I'm going to go to the Google keyword tool, and I'm actually going to paste all of those keywords into the Google keyword tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the keywords that have the most volume and, according to Google. And I'm going to look at, if there's any keywords that are lower on the volume spectrum that probably, if I tried to rank for, wouldn't bring me any traffic. I'm going to cut those out. And what I'm going to be left with is I might have a file that started out with thousands of keywords. And now I'm going to have a file that may be several hundred keywords. And these are keywords that we know get traffic because Google is coming back and saying that these keywords have traffic. I'm also going to look at all of the keywords, and I'm going to find out anything that might be a potential problem for me. Earlier we looked at keywords that had the word job in them or career, and I talked about how I don't want to have a page that talks about jobs or careers because my particular clients are looking for students, not for people who are looking for careers. And I'm going to go through and try to find these negative keywords as well because, even though it's not a keyword that you maybe want to rank for, it could be a keyword that does get traffic, so it ends up staying in your list. It could be a keyword that, SpyFu gave you that SERPWoo didn't because you did that negative filter at SERPWoo. So you just want to go through and comb through and find out what are the keywords that are going to give you problems. You want to make sure these keywords have traffic. And then once you have several hundred, or maybe you even have less than 100 that actually bring you traffic, you're going to want to go through those keywords and say, okay, here's what I'm going to start building my content around. My content is going to be about this degree. It's going to possibly be about getting a master's or a bachelor's, or let's say we get out of higher education and we're looking at supplements. You thought that your supplement might be great for energy, but you're noticing that a lot of these energy supplement keywords also bring in the word focus or focus pills and concentration supplements, mental clarity, and those type of keywords. And you start building your content around that and building your articles and siloing your site that way and really making sure that you have these extra keywords within your content so that it all meshes really well and it is topical to what you want to write about. And that's how I do keyword research. That's a very simplified and short way to do it. I'll probably do another video in a couple weeks about how I do it for pay-per-click advertising because it's a little bit different for pay-per-click the way that I do it. This is kind of a general overview. So just be on the lookout for that video, and I'll talk to you again. Come visit us at SERPWoo.com and reach out to us if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.